Craig Waddingham, how the hell are you, mate? Been a long time.
Yeah, very long time, mate. Good yourself.
Yeah, mate, I'm really, really good. It's great to get you on the podcast, mate. I think you're a class lad and also, obviously, a class player. So I have been looking forward to getting you on just for a little bit of a crack and a bit of a catch-up.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, mate. Yeah, we'll go back a long way to Blue Dolphin days, Reading days.
Oh, yes, we will get into them a little bit later on, I think. I spoke to you a few times over lockdown, and you've mentioned you've been able to have a little bit of snooker practice, but, you know, like everybody else, the world's been in complete and utter lockdown. But so overall, mate, how has it been for you? Like, overall, the entire scenario? Because I know you've got a full family as well, so...
Yeah, I've got 4 kids, so they've been keeping me busy. But I managed to get to my dad's every other week, probably, to have a quick game. He's got a snooker table at his house, so it's not been a massive loss for me, really. But just I'm busted for a game of pool now, and I'm not normally like that, so hopefully good things can come when you're allowed to play pool again.
It does feel like ages since we've been out. It's hard to believe that it's kind of been a year. I think I've been out once when the break came. Me and Rhodesy went to room 21 for like this competition, but it was completely surreal. Like you couldn't kind of get near. You weren't meant to get near everybody, and it did not feel like a pool competition. I mean, John McAllister turned up, and it was great to see everybody, but it just felt like everybody was like, can you give each other a hug? Can you shake each other's hand? And
yeah, you don't know. You don't know what you can do. You don't can't shake hands or anything, can you? So it's what do? You just got to wait for hopefully the restrictions lift and we can have a game of pool very shortly.
Yeah. So Craig Waddingham, snooker player, pool world championship runner-up. You've got 9 ball titles, massive money match player. Where did it all start for you, Craig? How old were you when you picked up a cue?
I first started playing when I was 3. My sister won't like me saying this, but I had to have a pool table in my sister's room, so she didn't have a bedroom. And I used to have to stand on a crate to play. It was a 6x3 table, whatever it was, the ones with the wooden legs. And I just started on there really, and I just love the game. The game.
But did you find it? I mean, obviously you were only 3 at the time, but did you just find yourself were you just totally addicted to it? Every 2 minutes you just couldn't get off it. That's what you kind of
find. I couldn't get enough of it. Coming over from little school, straight on the table, after tea, straight on the table. I just couldn't get enough of it. And then when I gradually got older, same again. I just wanted to play pool and snooker.
Yeah, you went into snooker straight to start, didn't you? Was that your first love?
Yeah, it was, but I wasn't big enough to play on because I was only a little lad, believe it or not. And I'm not little anymore, but I was only a little lad at the time, and I couldn't really reach properly. So I just played a lot more pool against a lot of older players. Like I played when I was winning comps against men when I was like 11 and 12. So I knew I was going to be half okay then.
So how old were you when you kind of the thought, well, I'm definitely going to do something in the cue sport world. I can't kind of get away from that. I mean, school, I've been talking to a lot of these lads who, especially your age, are young lads who start finding, as soon as they start playing well at snooker, they're kind of thinking, I don't want to go to school anymore. This is kind of exactly what I want to do now. Were you good at school, or was it kind of like a pool hall education, shall I say?
I wasn't saying I was brilliant at school, but I wasn't bad. I was probably just average. I think snooker and pool just took my mind off being at school, I think. Same as everyone else, really, I think.
Was there anybody that you could kind of practice with at your age? Did you have quite a natural ability when you, obviously at 3, you never know that, but did it kind of start to develop?
It's quite good around our area for pool now, but I wouldn't have said back then that it was brilliant, but I just played with my dad, and he'd take me to local pool hall, snooker hall, and I just really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Just loved. I played against anybody though. If someone's playing next table, I'd just say it's on a game.
Yeah, they've got this young 11. They've got this young 11-year-old lad bashing people up. They're like, no, we don't want to play you.
After a while, maybe,
yeah. So, I mean, was there anybody? I mean, firstly, were you into snooker? Did you watch a lot of snooker on the telly yourself? Were you a big fan?
Yeah, I've always watched snooker. All my life. My dad plays a little bit, and he got me into it, but he's only a 30 break man at best now.
Yeah.
So, but he's got me into it, and I've never looked back.
Yeah. You went at some of the Pios competitions years ago, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. That's good digging that. Yeah, I did. I managed to get to, I think, one semi-final, I think, but they was probably levels above me.
You've played some of the biggest, some of the lads now who have turned into some of the biggest players in the world. You know, you've had a game against people like Kyron Wilson and stuff like that. You know, so
Yeah,
to be able
McGill, Judd Trump, they was all on it.
that to see them all now doing well on there, I bet you're thinking, I remember playing you when you were a young'un. That's not good.
Yeah, it's frightening, but they always had that little bit more than I had, and I think they just had more ability than I had.
Yeah. Did you think that you were going to turn pro? I mean, obviously it must be a sobering thought when you see all them doing a lot better than you. Was it? I know that must have been quite a frustrating time in any Q Sport player's life, especially if you're wanting to be a snooker player and then you're seeing these go on and doing bigger and better things. Was there a time that you kind of thought, oh, do you know what? I'm a good player, but I'm just not that level.
Yeah, I think when I started going to the Pios, to be honest, and because I do well round my local pool hall, snooker hall, and even like round as far as leagues, I do okay there. But when you go into like the Pios, where you got it's just below the pros. So, and when you're going down there and getting tonked a few times, it's not a nice feeling.
No, I had John Astley on recently, and he was saying even though he did a lot in the amateur, he said the levels that it jumps up is just literally frightening. And people kind of say, God,
he was on when I was. He was unbelievable.
But they say you're an amazing player. How come you're not in the semis, in the quarters, in the final? People don't realise just how much work you have to put in behind like 10 matches, but just to get to that level.
It's frightening. I mean, John was on the person I was. I remember John.
Yeah.
And some of the players on Judd Trump, he was on there. Michael White. You've got people who don't even play anymore. That was unbelievable. And you think, where have they gone?
Can you believe Michael White fell off the tour just recently? I mean, what is that's frightening?
I'd be happy to take a frame off him. And he's dropping off the tour. It's unbelievable.
I know. Having a snooker background, obviously, your cueing action's great. I mean, getting just a quick one on the cueing action. Did you ever get coached or did you get taught? Because it looks extremely natural.
I did try to get coached, but I went for a game with Ian Glover. I don't even know who he is. He's a coach now. He's from around my way. He goes, I think he's at Ding's place in Sheffield. And I went to him, and my dad says, "Can you coach him?" And he said, "Well, I'll have a few frames to start off with." And I made 120. And he said, "I don't think I can coach him." He says, "I'll practice with him, but I don't think I can coach him."
So yeah, you must have been That's a nice kind of a one tick for me to be able to hear something like that from someone like that.
Yeah, it was nice, and then we've become friends and practice partners for a while.
Yeah. So having that kind of snooker background, has that kind of given you an edge when it comes to playing pool? Because there's a lot of ex-snooker players. You know, you've got just to mention a few, you've got Potsy. You know, you've got who can play pool. You've Chris Mellon who can play pool. Farnsworth. They're all people who were talented snooker players. Do you think that gives you the edge coming into pool?
Possibly, because you're not like it's a Selby. He won the Worlds, didn't he?
Yeah. He went the other way.
You're not going to miss many balls.
Yeah.
You're not going to miss many balls, but it's just the patterns that you need to. You can always rely on your potting.
Yes.
But your pattern more than anything.
Yeah, they said
that's what it'll be.
Yeah, they said that's like the last thing to go is your potting. It's always just them pattern play if you can get that right. That's kind of the main. Well, I suppose I'd say that's right with snooker and pool. Anything, you know, there's a hell of a lot of players out there who can pot, but if you can't control that white ball, that's the killer, isn't it?
No, that's the biggest. I would rather have that white ball on a shorter string because it'll make me. I think the people who have the best cubic control don't look as good because they don't have to be, because they're just normal. They don't move the white ball. You've got like Phil Harrison. Yes. He's unbelievable to me. He's the best. He's got the best cubic control I've seen.
Yeah, no, I absolutely 100% agree. You see the people that seem to get the plaudits, the people who are pulling off these crazy flash clearances, and don't get us wrong, they're absolutely brilliant to the eye. They're so pleasing to watch. But the people that you don't hear about are the people who, they fly under the radar because they do everything so they make the game look ridiculously easy. Phil Harrison, absolutely You know, he's definitely one of them that doesn't seem to do anything with a white ball because he doesn't really need to. He just moves it, doesn't come off 10 cushions.
He's always in position though, and you know if he's not because he tells you, he lets you know. But no, he's always in position, so he doesn't have to move the white ball. He's never wrong side of the ball, so it looks so easy for him.
Yeah. So did you decide to give pool a full-time go, or was it kind of just something that you did on the side and kind of see where it took you?
I would say I probably did, yeah, because it was my income for a while. But then I got a job, and then slowly you dicker off pool, don't you?
Yeah.
And it's part time then. I would say I probably did give it a good go for a couple of years until I got a proper job. And then other than that, I was working Monday to Thursday, have Friday off, go to play pool. So
yeah,
you're struggling to practice in them times, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, apart from snooker and pool, I mean, you're also a monster 9-ball player. What got you into 9-ball, Craig?
It was Andy Appleton's place in Wakefield, Vegas bar, where I played your mate Rhodesy, and he did me. Unbelievable game that.
Yeah.
I played him for money, and I was on the hill, and he did one frame. I think he needed 5 or 6, and ended up losing. But that's the kind of guy Rhodesy is, and you know what he's like. He's cracked a few beers down him, and
never seen nothing
screaming,
like it.
and I'm in bits and like, but. Yeah, it was my brother-in-law, really, I think.
Yeah.
He played a bit of 9-ball. He's a pool player, but he played a bit of 9-ball. He went to the Euro tours.
Right.
And everything. And he said, you want to give this a go? And I went on the GB9 for a couple of years, I think, with Rhodesy.
Yeah. Well, I
ended up winning a couple of events. But
I remember you beating them in the final because you played Mick in the final of the 2012 Challenge Cup, but you'd only just been beat in the final in the November previously. So you were kind of coming in, kind of flying as well. And to be fair, I mean, it was hard. I mean, Rhodesy played that one extra match to get the final, but it was quite an easy final for you, really, wasn't it? You just seemed to be flying all the way through that whole competition. There was no stopping you.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed the night. I enjoyed the where you got a break and how you got a break. I think that's a big thing because you need to make the one ball or the corner ball. So I think it's a fascinating game. I think it's harder than a lot of people make out because not many people miss balls on them tables. That's why it's so hard because nobody misses.
Yeah. Have you ever played Chinese 8-ball?
No. I've the only Chinese 8-ball table I've seen is at Potts' place.
Yeah.
But I've never had a go on it. But it looks a good game, but Potts makes it look too easy.
Have you seen them drills that he does? It's just absolutely ridiculous.
I don't even want to try one. I was going to try a couple at snooker at my dad's house, but I don't know what to do yet. So,
that would be good.
Keep tuning in for them.
I'll definitely keep tuning in for that. That would be great. How long did you actually stay on the GB9 tour, Craig?
I think it was a couple of years. I only gave it a couple of years, but I did enjoy it. I played a few money matches at 9-ball, but a good crack as well. You had a good lot of lads on there. But some of the players on there you got like Carl Boyes, Moscone Cup, Darren Appleton, Moscone Cup, Chris Mellon, Moscone Cup. You've got
Mark
like,
Gray. Mark Gray's on as well.
Mark Gray, Imran Majid. So players on there. You're looking around, you're thinking, how am I going to win this?
What the hell am I doing here? I don't even play.
Yeah, I know. I've got a snooker cue and.
Did you ever is that what you used? And actually, did you use the snooker cue as well?
I did at the start, but then I actually bought a 9-ball cue and a breaking because you've got to. I think there's only a couple of players who use the snooker cues now. I think Mark Gray, I think he had redone snooker cue, but I managed to get a 9-ball cue in the end and give it an half a go. But,
did you ever think about maybe taking the 9-ball like a bit further the way kind of Carl has? Because he came from pool, then started doing well at 9-ball. You obviously came to the GB9 circuit and had immediate success immediately. Did you not think, do you know what? I'm just gonna continue on with this.
I half did, yeah. I thought, but I just had a kid at the time, and that changes things, and it's one of them things, and you just can't commit to as much as what you could when you're you've not got anyone depending on you really.
I mean, it's even hard enough just when you've got a child and it's in the UK. Whereas if, like you say, once you have to go that bit further, you've got to start doing what people like Jason Shaw's had to do, is had to go extremely further afield to kind of maintain that. Whereas, even on the IPA tour, it's hard to get time away, especially if you've got 4 kids. Do you know what I mean? Because then you have to go whole weekends away now. They're few and far between, I guess.
Oh no, my wife's a good one. She looks after the kids when I'm away, so she deserves a medal, I think.
You were practicing. Were you practicing 9-ball and 8-ball at the same time? Because I know on the GB9, I know Rhodesy never practiced, and I can't believe you got to the final. Whereas I know that not long after this, you made it to the final against Tom in the World Pool. So were you practicing them both at the same time? Because I've heard that's mixing and matching it's pretty tough. I think only Mellon gets away with that recently.
Yeah. No, to be honest, no. I was just playing 8-ball because we had a couple of tables at our local Riley's, but there wasn't brilliant.
Yeah.
If you had to get a decent table, you'd have to go to Wakefield.
Yeah.
But I was just playing 8-ball I've always played a lot more 8-ball than anything else, to be honest. But I think that's me. I think that's me one true love at any Cue sport.
You speaking of pool, you reached the final of the WEPF 8-ball World Championship in 2013, losing out to Tom Cousins 11 frames to 10. Mate, that's a tough one to take.
Yeah, fair play to Tom. I've got a lot of respect for him. He's a good mate of mine now, and he just didn't give me a shot on the side. He broke and cleared. The first break at 10-all, he broke dry, but the black went in. And then I thought, just give me a shot. And he didn't, and he broke and cleared. But I've got a lot of respect for Tom. He's a great lad and a good player. He's
just like, just one chance. Just Howie Tom. Just one. That's right the way I dealt the final.
Even if I'm snookered.
Yeah, even if I'm snookered. I mean, Tom's obviously one of the greatest pool players in the world with an absolute monster break. I think I've heard his break once and I was like, what the hell was that? Do you know what I mean? But someone with a break like that and who can putt as well as he can, no wonder he's an absolute monster.
Oh, he's a class player. He's a class player. Yeah. And his break is, I don't know how he don't lose that white ball because he jumps up in the air about 4 foot every time he breaks. And it's unbelievable how he does it. But he's a big lad. He's a tall lad and he can crack him.
Yeah.
Certainly.
So let's talk money matches, Craig. I mean, you're a well-known, highly respected money match player. You've played kind of for ridiculous amounts of money. Sheppy, a couple of matches with Anonymous, Mark Boyle a few times. I remember watching the first game against Mark Boyle, and the standard was just it was truly frightening. Which has been your favourite money match to be involved in?
Probably that game. That game. That's me. The standard was unbelievable. I think there was probably maybe 4 pots missed all game. Maybe that, I think. But you got fair play to the Andy Appleton at Vegas, at Ossett. He got his tables running unbelievable. So. But that game was unbelievable, and it's one I won't forget.
I mean, 30-29 in the first game. I mean, I remember Twitter just absolutely blown up with people kind of talking about the standard. I mean, top draw. Another final frame decider. I bet you were thinking, just give us a shot again, please. I want one shot. Did the fire come flooding back? Did you think about it?
A little bit, yeah, but I've normally got a good record in deciders. But this time, when all that money, all your mates are there and all your friends are screaming, and you shake because you're shaking. You are shaking. The adrenaline's running and you're buzzing, and you just want to go. You want a chance. And luckily.
How do you cope with them nerves? Because I can understand it being almost like a pressure cooker in there. It must just be a phenomenal. Only people who have actually done it and been stood with the cue in the hand. You've got all that money on the line. You've got people who've backed you as well, and you kind of sit and going, right, I've got this chance. And everybody's screaming. You've got people that don't want you to win. You've got I would say that you had more fans at the first one. There was definitely a louder. You could hear your crowd a lot louder.
Yeah.
But how do you kind of channel that? Because I know a lot of people whose arses would just literally just drop out and they wouldn't be able to hold the cue.
It's a weird one, to be honest, because everything just seems, when you're out there, it seems in slow motion. It's a weird sensation because you try not to think about anything. Everything it's just slow motion around you. You're just concentrating on them balls on the table, and it's you can hear people, but it don't really bother me. I think the more people, the better, to be honest, because it creates that atmosphere, and I just think it goes in slow motion when you're at the table, and you try not to think about. You don't think about money. You just play pool end of the day.
And was it one of those? Have you watched it back and thought, like, is there some of them that you can't even remember some of them frames because you just kind of go in the zone?
I've watched it back about 100 times, yeah.
So it's 1-1 between you and Mark, who I've got a lot of time for. I've met Mark a few times. Such a lovely bloke.
Yeah,
Is any chance of a decider down the line?
Probably not. I don't think so. I don't know how much he's playing. How much he's playing now?
Yeah.
I don't know what anyone's doing now during the pandemic.
Yeah, that is one thing for you. What do you enjoy the most, mate? I know you've just mentioned there, like the buzz of that in the crowd, but what do you enjoy the most? The buzz winning the competition or winning a money match? Because I remember I spoke to Sheppy, and Sheppy said straight away, no question. And he just went, the buzz of a money game immediately. He didn't even have to, he just said, no question.
Yeah, I think it is a money game for me as well, because all your friends, I mean, in a comp, you've got a sponsor, and you want to win him money. But then when you play the money match, you've probably got 50 sponsors. And I think they're all screaming for you, and it's not the same as a comp. Don't get me wrong, I love comps as well, because you want to win end of the day.
Yeah.
But when you're in a money match situation, and you've got all your friends screaming, I don't think there's a bigger buzz in pool than that, to be honest.
Do you think that's why maybe a lot of the snooker players have done quite well with lockdown recently, because there's been no crowds and stuff, and some people respond differently to a crowd, whereas like I know some really top quality tournament players who, when the crowd's cheering and screaming at them like that, it's not their comfort zone, whereas they like the professional kind of side of things. They like to get out there and play properly, like you would say on an IPA Tour final or in a Supreme Tour final where it's quiet, like the World Snooker where it's been lovely and like really, really quiet. Where a money match is, there's not one person who isn't screaming for either side. Yeah, I mean, I can understand how some people could definitely fold under that pressure.
Without a doubt. I know a lot of pool players who don't like being in that environment. They like to be just on a little side table playing. Yeah. But some snooker players will probably be insane. They'll want to go their own business. They won't want people screaming and shouting. But for me, I like that. The more people, the better for me.
Yeah. So it's a tough question, big question, I know. Who do you think is the best money match player ever? And you can't have yourself in there. Who do you think?
I'm not in there without a doubt. I'm not.
I mean, you can sit the fence with it. I know it's a big question, but I know people like to know these things.
It's a really tough one, because there's probably ones 20 years ago that I don't even know, but probably around now you probably got Farns up there.
Yeah.
Probably Cousins is up there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good players for money.
If there was any, I mean, given the opportunity, is there anyone that you would play that you think, you know what, if the time's right and if everything comes together and aligns, who would you like to play? Who is like your fish?
I don't know, to be honest. I think it's all about myself. I think if I'm playing, I'd play quite a lot of people.
Yes.
But if I can't practice, then probably nobody.
Yeah.
But it's all on myself, really. If I'm practicing, I fancy a chance against most players. But if not, then it's a bit of a tricky one.
Yeah. The last time I actually saw you play, it was in the Supreme Series Grand Finals. I think you beat Mick Hill 11-9. I think those competitions were really well put together. Great viewing, obviously, as well. I mean, those rules seem to suit you down to the ground. Are there rules that you've practiced?
Not a lot prior to the event, no. But I think I've learned them since watching now. Since the Champions League, I think it's I think they're a great set of rules. I think that they should be the rules going forward, because it gets rid of the two shots and you can play DFs kind of, can't you? And it's a good rule set. I think personally that they're the best around.
The Supreme Rules, yeah. I mean, I think they're trying to get them like made kind of like a full on one now, because I know there was a lot of you had the world rules, and you have you had Black Ball came out, but so these are kind of like an amalgamation, a little bit of each. And you just think obviously you've played them both at a really high level. You think the Supreme Rules for you are kind of the way forward.
I think so, yeah. And I think a lot of players think that, to be honest. I think they should just. It's hard to just scrap world rules and black ball, but I think going forward they should just do one set of rules where they just put them together like the Chinese 8-ball rules, and that's the way it should be. Supreme rules.
So the pool world seems full of organisations at the moment arguing. I mean, whether it be kind of rules or not being allowed to play in specific events if you've played in another. I mean, what do you make of that, Craig? And do you think that there is going to be a world where one governing body exists and everyone gets along?
I hope so, because pool needs it. I mean, in my opinion, you should be able to play in whatever you want to play.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of players think the same, but I don't think you should be punished if you're playing in a black ball event and then you want to play in a world rules event the week after. I don't think you should be punished. I think you should say you can play in both. I don't see the reason why.
Yeah.
But...
No, I completely agree. I mean, I'm not mentioning any names or anything, but it was said that because someone played on Free Sports, that they were told that they weren't allowed to play in a certain event. And yeah, I think especially with lockdown, I think rules can be. I mean, the rules shouldn't be there anyway, but especially in these times when people are just trying to get out, players like yourselves, they're just trying to get out and make a little bit extra money because their livelihoods are from pool, playing money matches, exhibitions and stuff. So yeah, I think hopefully, I don't know if it will happen, but hopefully moving down the line there may be one governing body with the Supreme Rules as well. That would be good.
Yeah, definitely. That's the way it should be.
Oh. So what do you do to relax, mate? When you're not when you're not obviously with the family that you've got? Big family? Yeah,
to be honest, I do love spending time with family, and that is my way of relaxing, to be honest.
Yeah.
We go on days out and whatnot. I get the odd frame of snooker in here and there when I can. Take the kids to my dad's and they run around the table under my cue and whatnot. It's I think that's helped me though. Playing winning money matches though, when I've practiced snooker at my dad's and I've had my little girl running under my cue when I've been hitting a ball, and I think that helps you.
Yeah.
If you can deal with that, you can deal with people coming at you when you don't want you to pot a ball.
Yeah, when you're trying to take a shot in somewhere, you've got a kid kicking you. That's yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
So
pulling on you, grabbing your cue.
Do you I mean, I know I've spoke to some players who when they're going into a pool competition or going into a big money match pool, they'll play snooker. Yeah, they'll think because you cannot, because you can be let off a little bit if your arm is a little bit off. Snooker, it brutalises you for that. It just makes you've got to be hitting the ball straight, and so you completely agree with that.
100%. Yeah, I play a lot of snooker before comps and money matches.
Yeah,
I only play probably a week's worth of pool, the rest snooker, because once you know your way around the pool table, you know the patterns. I know I've played for years and I know the patterns roughly.
Yeah. So
I just need to be queuing properly. So I play a lot of snooker.
I think Marshy was saying that as well. When it gets to your levels, it's you've got the fundamentals are already there. They're already there. You know what to do. You know what it's basically exactly as I remember once I was over the Sky Lounge with Farnsworth, and he was just putting the white at the bottom cushion, and he was just putting the ball just past the middle, and all he would do would spend 15 minutes just whacking the ball into the top cushion. And I was like, is that your practice? He went, well, yeah. He went, because I've got all the other fundamentals are there. I know what to do. I'm just making sure that my arm's a bit straightened up, and that's it. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So what type of movies and stuff are you into, mate?
I don't like scary movies, to be honest. That's not really my kind of thing. Just comedy, really.
Yeah.
I don't watch. We watch a lot of series, on Netflix, but more like a bit of crime, bit of comedy. I don't really like scary films, to be honest. It's not my cup of tea. That.
They're bringing out Coming to America 2. What's all that about?
I don't know. I ain't got a clue with that. But for me, it's just comedy and a bit of. My missus gets me to watch the soaps, EastEnders and Coronation Street and Emmerdale and whatever. But I don't mind.
And what foods and stuff are you into, mate? Are you a takeout person, or is there a Waddingham signature dish that you can cook?
Not the best chef, to be honest. I've got better over lockdown because I've had to. Because you have to learn. But my wife's a good cook. She can cook. But we don't mind a Chinese. We don't mind Indian.
Yeah.
Good old Macca's. Never hurt nobody.
And what's your favourite drink, mate? Apart from tea?
Alcoholic drinks, probably. It's a tough one. I don't mind a bit of Bud or a bit of Guinness, to be honest.
Yeah.
Either of them.
And regarding kind of, I know you can't get away at the moment because the holidays is just, everything's just locked down. But given the opportunity to get away, do you have a favourite destination that you and your wife like to go to?
Well, we've booked one for next year. We're going to Barbados next year.
Oh, nice. Dear me.
Was meant to be going to Disneyland, Florida, but with all COVID going about, we're going to say that it's going to be too busy. There are too many people there. So we've booked Barbados going next year, next August. So hopefully it's calmed down and we can go properly.
Oh yeah, I mean, by August next year, I would expect the world to be back to a bit of normality. But yeah, that definitely sounds pretty nice. Barbados.
No, yeah, very good.
So I've got some questions for a couple of the lads have sent in. You know what the boys are like. They've got to ask. Yeah, so
I can imagine some of the crackers.
I've got to ask Craig some words. So first one.
Go on,
it's not so much of a question. Darren Sunman tell Waddy to start playing properly again. That was the first one.
Right, okay, mate.
Danny Turner, who's your best ever doubles partner?
I know why he's asking that, because we've won the doubles for a few years in a row. We did a few years ago, so I've got to say T answer just because he's asked me the question. But although me and my dad are unbeaten at snooker, so it's a toss-up.
Well, there you go. It's 50-50. Alex Burnett, who did all your awesome tattoos?
Oh yeah, Alex. Yeah, he's for me he's the best. He's the best around. Yeah. Unbelievable, and he's very, very, very good.
Where's he from?
Good mate of mine as well. It's from Immingham, Grimsby.
Right, and
he's very good.
What's his does he do it? Does he have his own business or does he just go?
He works for his own business, Black Anvil.
Right,
it's in Cleethorpes, and it's highly recommended. I'd recommend him to anybody. Brilliant tattoos. And a good guy as well. Loves Paul as well.
Does he? How many tats have you actually got?
I've got them all up my arm. And
is it true that like once you get,
legs,
I mean, once you get one, isn't it? People say that once you get one, it can open the floodgates, and people are like, oh, I want another one, and I want another one. Is that have you found that?
Yeah, they are addictive, but it's not a nice pain, but it's a pain that you like having. It's a weird one, really.
So I've got Alan Green, mate. I don't know what. Why don't you like gherkins?
They're just not very nice, are they?
No. But so,
they're just not very nice.
You said Mackie D's.
If I have McDonald's, I have a Big Mac. First thing I do is take the top bun off and go to my wife, take them out. And she loves them. But no, they're not for me.
There, where's it? I'm going to find this one. I had a question from Darren Arkle. One of the Northeast's best lads, I might say. He's ask him of his fond memories playing the 3-man at the Dolphin with myself and Snake. Now, I've spent a week in Spain a few times with Dazzler and Snakey, so I know how impressive the alcohol consumption can get.
They can drink, and you know yourself, Snakey just goes missing.
Yeah.
He's a I love the guy, but he's a nightmare. He just goes missing and he's wandering. Yeah. And you don't know when it's his go, but we've done well there, to be honest.
Yeah, we've done that a few times. We went to Spain. There was the Catalonia pool competition that's on every year. It was at the end of September. That's something that you should go to, Craig. It's absolutely fabulous. It's a week away.
I've been to the Jersey one. I went to Jersey. Yeah, a few years ago though, but I enjoyed that.
Yeah, Ross McInnes puts this one on. It's on for the whole week, which is an absolute dangerous scenario when you're going with people like Darren Arkle and Snakey Thompson. But
I just stay in your room.
I think I lost a Wednesday. I think that was it, but I think I was all right after that. But no, I would definitely, I would definitely highly recommend Catalonia at the end of I think it's the end of September, beginning of October. When hopefully, I don't know if it'll be on this year. Hopefully, it all kicks off again next year. But I've just got to put a plug in for that. So it is unknown time at the moment, mate. People unsure when kind of clubs are going to open. What is next for you, mate?
I'm just going to go back on the tour. I think I'm going to when I can. I'm going to go back on the tour. I'm in the there's a Masters in the Ultimate Pool coming up on the Free Sports.
Right, yeah.
I've got in that, so
brilliant.
Just got to wait to see who I've got and when I can play, and I'm looking forward to get back into pool, to be honest.
Oh yeah. So I mean, which tour is it that you're going on? Because there's that many different ones at the moment. Are you going on?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. Whatever my sponsor Cameron Dunlop, he'll say to me, he'll just suggest, right, well, do you want to go on this one? Do you want to go on this one?
Right.
It's we'll have a talk, and then he'll just say which one do you fancy, and then we'll go from there, really.
I mean, the one in the IPA stands out for me because they've just come out today. I think they've said, and they're in Newcastle on the 3rd to the 5th of September. So I'm sure it'll be the Northeast lads. They'll be having making an appearance somewhere along the line. Yeah,
definitely. The good set of lads you are, to be honest, down there. We've got a lot of fond memories of Blue Dolphin and Reeton Sands with all. It's just all Geordies down there, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just crazy, but good weekends, great weekends.
It's crackers. But speaking of the Dolphin, mate, will you make an appearance again there ever once it opens back up?
I will, yeah, I will. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. It's an absolute lottery, innit? You've got first to 4.
Yeah.
To win it once is tough, but to win it a few times, I think you've done really, really well. I mean, Aaron Davis, I think he's won it last twice, has he?
Yeah.
So he's taking some beating, but he's a fantastic player. Him and Dunster are very similar out there, the way they go about. That's why they don't flash, because they're always in position as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely, like you say, regarding that. I mean, Liam's probably one of a big reason as to why I started this podcast as well, because I met him in Spain, and he was like extra funny, such like a open lad, down to earth, like really nice lad. And then people were like, "Oh, do you know what? He seems like so boring and quiet and mechanical." And I was like, you just have no idea what he's like, and like that's one of the reasons as to why I thought, you know what, I'd having a podcast where people get to know people behind what they're like. But yeah, someone like but he's very mechanical as well. But his game, he takes every shot the exact same way. It could be the simple shot into the middle pocket, or it could be a black ball for a title. It's his same kind of move every time, and he gets down, and but that works for him, and obviously he does all right.
Yeah, he don't do bad, does he? But I wish I had that to do that every time, because I think a lot of players, if they've got a simple shot, they do take it for granted sometimes. But with him and a few other players, I think they're more methodical. They do every cue straight through,
yeah,
and they do it the same amount of them, and it's just fair play for having that dedication.
Yeah. Well, look, Craig, it's been great crack having you on, just having a catch up. I hope to have a bit catch up with you again down the line. Let us know which tour that you decide to go on. That once everything opens up again, it'll be great to come down and see you and have a bit of a crack. But I really appreciate you coming on. I really appreciate you coming on. As I've said before, I think you're a great lad, and obviously one of the best players in the world. So I think you're cracking. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thank you, Kev.
See you, mate.
Cheers,
Bye.
Mate.